Welcome to a nutty adventure exploring personal growth and wellness, breaking down the stigma around mental health along the way. Let's dive in because now it's time to show me your nuts.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the second edition of Stacy's Browser Didn't Work Again. Oh, wait, no. Welcome to Show Me Your Nuts, and I'm a minute or so later because my other browser didn't want to play the show. But there's always a way. And in true quantum fashion of the month, I figured it out. So, yeah, it's a rainy, icky morning in Kansas City, and here I am. So today, in quantum fashion, let's see what we've done the last couple of weeks. The last 2 weeks, we've explored limiting beliefs and transformations. And today, we're going to open the doors to the quantum library. Okay, I'm not good at side effects. I'm not good at sound effects. I'm not good for side effects either. And it's one of those weeks where words aren't always wanting to come out correctly. So you might get some interesting words coming out today. And that's just how it rolls sometimes. So today we're talking about the library. And I want to talk especially about 4 resources that will fundamentally shift how you see reality, how you see consciousness, and your own transformation potential. Now, I'm not going to lie, these books are not necessarily easy reads, but they are incredibly transformational reads if you leave your mind open to all of the ideas that they present. Because they bring together multiple fields. They bring together complex ideas, but bring them into your everyday life. And because those complex ideas run our everyday life. And so wouldn't you want to know, like, why do things happen the way they happen, right? Science, right? But this is science and also spirituality. It brings them both together. And ever since, science and spirituality used to be together. They used to be buddies. And then history happened and there were multiple reasons, but people in power who thought that, if science and spirituality were together, they wouldn't be able to control people via part of the spirituality part. I'm not saying spirituality controls people, but there were humans who wanted to control people using things. They were the ones who were like, wait a minute, this can't be together because we're going to do that. That's the short Stacy words aren't happening version of the show this morning. So yeah, I know the sound. I knew the sound effect. I'm getting in the comments now. Yes, I knew the sound effect button was there, but since I had to switch browsers to get the show going, I needed to. I should have used the sound effect button. Maybe I'll find that and use it later. So let's open the library and look at those 4 resources. But first, I'm going to do an energy check with the audience. And I'm going to ask, are you ready to have your mind blown in the most amazing way? Yes or no? And there's no wrong answer. No is an appropriate answer. You can answer that one yes or no. Welcome to all 4 of whom are watching. I know that Ollie's watching because Ollie wants to keep his yeah. Ollie wants to keep his mind safe, not blown up. I wonder what a better Ollie, give me a better choice of words for that one, because you are our fellow, you're our wordsmith in here. And yes, Jessica, you can have a cookie afterwards. Whatever kind of cookie you want, because you can manifest said cookie. So we're gonna dive to find out how to manifest the cookies. So some books are made not just to inform. They're made to transform at the quantum level, at the atomic level, at the we are energy and waves level. I picked these 4 to review first because they go from a practical technique to cosmic understanding and kind of show you the complete journey. But I'll also say that there are lots of other really good books along with these. These aren't the only 4 books in the world. There are multiple books in the world that are really good at this. But these are like 4 kind of, and I say 4, but I think I might give you guys more than that. These are like the cream of the crop. I want to take you through a journey from a practical application of what I call quantum techniques or quantum thought to a deeper journey to learn that. And they're not just reads. These aren't just books you read just to like put information in your head. And they're not workbooks in the sense of having, question and answer and fill in the blank and exercises. They're not workbooks. So they are books to read. But if you use the information in them and internalize it and do things with it, they become your own personal workbook. And I'm working on some tools to boil down some of the concepts and turn them into workbooks. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'll just say Squirrel's Toolbox is coming with some fun stuff. So these aren't just reads, they're experiences. And I've had people ask me for like more, give me resources about the things. You talk about all this stuff, give me resources. So the first book we're going to look at, and I'm going to say that I'm going to disclaimer this one to say that the link you're going to see is indeed a, oh, this didn't open right. Okay. The link you're going to see is in fact an affiliate link, because why not? Or actually, this one isn't an affiliate link. This one's a download link because I have permission from Dr. Matt to give this book to friends. Actually, I'm not going to give you guys the link to it. I'm sorry. But you can get a hold of me if you are wanting a consultation session, and I'll get you the link to it. But I'm going to put the link to the book. Again, here I am on a live stream. Words aren't working. Let me look at the comments. Stretch your mind. Okay, so we're going to stretch our minds. Thank you, Ollie. Stretch, expand, shift, elevate. Yes, so that your mind is mind destructible, as in indestructible. I hope I interpreted that well. And then, oh, okay. So Jamie Rich, who's not in the audience to defend himself, and that's okay. I'm going to have to ask him about the cookies because apparently it's his fault. Those of you who don't know, who might be watching this show later or might be watching this show in the future, there is a world within this world called Go Brunch, and many of us spend much of our days there. And we reach across this video world, and we are connected quantumly. We are connected as humans because we spend time with each other and build relationships. And as as quantum thought goes, once two atoms or two things are connected together, they are never disconnected. So once you've built a relationship with somebody, you can never be disconnected from them. So we are constantly quantumly connected through a platform called Go Brunch. Come play with us. You can go to squirrelwrangler.com and find the Squirrel Wrangler tree and begin your connection there. I don't know if I have a link to that, actually. I should, but I don't see it. All right. I take that back. There is the link. So screenshot that. That should take you to the Squirrel Wrangler's tree, which is inside of Go Brunch. Come play with us and learn things and do things and find out about awesome activities that happen all week. All right. I'm going to go back and find see if the sound effects, if there's one. So it's, we're going to open the doors. I'm not sure if that one's a good sound effect or not. That's background music. Yeah. It said going into space. I don't know that it worked so well. All right. The first book up for dibs. Your mission, should you accept it, is to find this book, read it from cover to cover, and then message me. The book is Mental Emotional Release by Dr. Matthew James. Dr. James is he is a teacher, or kumu. In Hawaiian, they say kumu for teacher. He teaches and runs Empowerment Inc. via NLP.com. If you want to go to one of the in-person trainings, get a hold of me because I have a coupon code that'll get you a discount. NLP.com, it's been around for 40 years. He has been with that company or around that company for the whole time because his dad, Dr. Tad James, started the company. They teach and train, or they train NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, mental emotional release, and hypnosis, as well as training the trainer. They have Huna, or Hawaiian spiritual techniques trainings. In fact, I believe Huna is going on right now, which is so cool for the quantum month concept we're talking about, because Huna takes all of the concepts from a spirituality level and connects directly with spirit. And that brings me to the point that indigenous cultures all around the world knew and understood that they didn't have a separation between science and spirituality. It was the same thing. It still is the same thing. It's those things explain each other, and they're connected. They're intimately connected, and they always have been. They're also intimately connected with language, at the least in the Potawatomi culture, which is my personal culture. Those things are all connected. The culture, the language, the spirituality, the science, and the people. Everything's interconnected. And I believe the same thing is true in Hawaii with the cousins over there. Mental emotional release. So we're going to back up a little bit from Huna. Dr. Matt also has an amazing book about Huna, the Hawaiian spirituality. But a good introduction is to start with mental emotional release. Mental emotional release is also known as timeline therapy. Dr. Tad James created timeline therapy. Mental emotional release is a process by which you can be trained to walk other people through that, do not walk other people through that unless you have had this specific training, because it involves much more than what's in this book. But this book is a great way for you, the listener of this show, Show Me Your Nuts, to get in and find out what the process looks like to follow your timeline into your past, find out where things started, and to understand that there's a way to disconnect how something started in the past, say a belief about yourself that maybe isn't even your belief, your true belief, but something someone else said around you, did around you, or did to you when you were younger. And it caused a limiting belief by which your unconscious mind replayed over and over and over again in your life. If you've ever looked back at your life and you thought, every time that I get to, say, this point in my life, something knocks my butt down to this point, and then I have to start over, and then I get back to that point, and then something knocks me down, and I go back to that point, and something knocks me down. If you get in loops like that about things, it's very likely that there is a limiting belief, negative emotion, or baggage in your past that created that scenario to happen. And your unconscious mind's just replaying it over and over because it thinks that's how it's supposed to do things. But what that does to you is places you at a disadvantage where you can't break out of the loop. Well, I'm here to tell you there's a way to break out of the loop. Not only have I personally experienced it, but I am trained in MER, and I have walked numerous people through the process at this point. I'm not going to go into deep of like all the things it does, because it does even, more than what I've just said. But it's a really good read and place to start when you are wanting to learn about these concepts of science and spirituality and quantum, what I call quantum life. I'm going to call it quantum life because it's not just quantum physics. It's not just quantum mechanics. It's quantum language. It's quantum thought patterns. It's and we're going to be hearing about in the future, and no, we're going to be hearing more in the future about quantum computing, because yes, we have AI. AI has become more ubiquitous in society now, finally. And the next thing that's going to become big is quantum computing. And quantum computing is going to take AI to a level that we can't even imagine right now. And so, yes, we're on the bullet train. We're on the fast track as far as how things change. But that's not because anything's taking anything over. The train started with fire and the caveman. And then, flash forward and we got to the printing press. Or, well, we were carving in stones, and then we got to figured out how to make ink and paper and that. And they're all tools. Every single thing in that line are tools. And AI and quantum computing are just new iterations of tools that we are making so that it makes our life, it frees up this really to do other things. So the fact that if you're saying, oh, AI is a tool and I'm scared of it and I don't want to use the tools and things are moving too fast, well, the things are going to move whether you move with them or not. And the, things like quantum computing, that's coming, and it's going to take what we're used to in computers and phones and everything to a whole nother level. It's going to take the processing of ideas and solving of scientific type problems to a whole nother level. And if we think things are moving fast right now, they're getting ready to move faster, folks. And we need to be ready for that in the sense of not being scared of it. If you didn't have a washing machine in your house, oh, wait, that's a tool also. You'd be washing your clothes by hand on a rock next to a stream, and then you'd be hanging them up in the tree. Now, which one do you want? I understand that one's simpler and that kind of thing, but the fact of the matter is if you are wanting to keep up with the rest of the world and what's going on and financially make a living, you may have to stay caught up to a certain extent. Even if I'm not dissing anybody who wants to live on as far as live more simply, live off the land, homestead type things. I have really good friends who do that, and I love that. And they're weaving the two. They can do both things. That's what I'm saying. Because actually, what would happen if quantum life, as in AI, quantum computing, those things created so many things that you could do things so much faster that frees up your time, so you could go out and get in the garden and grow your own food because you had more time to do that. You could have any number of things you could go and do the simple old way because you had time, because the quantum life gave you that time back. So I think we need to switch our thinking in how we do things, in how we think about it. Because if the tools, these tools, the electronic tools, etc., made some things better so that then we had time, and you can spend that time however you want. If you want to spend it, and I think it's a great way to spend it, by the way, is get it. If you're good at gardening, get out there and garden and grow fresh food. If you're good at cooking that fresh food, cook the fresh food. Let's weave the good of both things together and have an even better life overall. Right? You could spend the time you get back in self-care so that your stress level's not so bad. Both of those things are true. The things that are coming are not all bad things. So I'll give you a little bit more about the MER book. And let me bring it back up on a banner here for you. So this book, you want to start here because it's a practical foundation. There are actual techniques for quantum change in it. The key takeaways from this is that timeline work is explained scientifically. The 5 major negative emotions and how to release them are explained. Describes how to create lasting change in minutes, not years. And a personal note for me is this book changed not only my personal life, but my practice of what I do as a therapist and as a coach. And frankly, as a friend even at times, because I've used these to help friends. It's best for anybody who's ready to release what's holding you back. And I would suggest reading it with a journal. So have the book in one place, your journal in the other, or, iPad with GoodNotes makes a great journal. And as a matter of fact, iPad with GoodNotes, if you have a PDF version of the book, you can write in the margins. You could write in the margins of a physical book too, for that matter. But if you use GoodNotes on an iPad, you can search your handwritten notes. So that's your tech tip today. Put these books, if you're able to get the PDF version or an e version of it, put it somewhere like that so you can write in it. Or open GoodNotes just as a journal and write your handwritten notes there. Write your journal in somewhere like GoodNotes, because GoodNotes specifically searches your handwriting. You can't search your handwriting in a paper book except by going page by page and looking for it, and you may miss it. Because of the way our brain works, you might miss it. But read it with a journal, because you are likely to have breakthroughs while you're reading. So let's go to quantum book number 2. and I'm going to put up a link to it. Of course, I didn't get my links ready early, so we're doing this on the fly this morning, folks. All right, this is a free YouTube. It's a YouTube link for a lecture. The lecture is by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Yes, like Lipton soup. He is a brilliant scientist. He started his career as a cellular biologist and then went on to study not only in that cellular biology, but went on to study how and was able to show through epigenetics that science, your cells are actually connected to spirituality. So I cannot do him enough justice by talking about him, but that video in YouTube, and actually I'll put that video in I'll put that link actually in the comments too, so you can see it. Don't click over yet, because we're in a show here. And while I'm over here, I'm going to put in, Jessica says Dr. Bruce Lipton is amazing. And side note, guess who was born on his birthday? Yours truly, your favorite squirrel. I looked up his wiki page one day, and his birthday just popped off the screen at me, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Dr. Lipton's birthday is the same as mine? And I fangirled for a bit, and I think it's cool that that I was, and then I had to figure out, because he's older than me, I was born on his birthday. So it's kind of cool to be quantumly connected to the grandfather of epigenetics. So this particular link goes to a YouTube lecture that he did in Germany, but the lecture's in English. And it's a great beginning spot to find out about Dr. Lipton, and then look up his book, Biology of Belief, which is what he's describing in this lecture, is that. And why we're talking about this one is because this is understanding the science behind the belief transformation. So this book gives you the science, some more of the science that's behind the transformation of our beliefs that we looked at in Dr. Matt's book. The key takeaways for this one is your thoughts, literally, your thoughts change your biology. Now, I want you to really sit with that for a minute, and to understand that the things you think about change the cells in your body. So if that's true, what could you change about your body? Now, I'm not necessarily going to say that it's easy as to think, oh, I'm skinny, and boom, you're skinny. Because believe me, I've tried that shit. It doesn't work. Not directly just by that. But your thoughts do literally change your biology. And there are processes that you've got to go through and ways you've got to do it. And you can't just change your thoughts and then still, couch potato it and still, do things that are bad for your body and expect your body to be good. I mean, you've got to take action that is positive for your body as well. But think about it from I'm gonna go about it from kind of the negative side, just to give a better example of what it is if you are thinking that you're not, I don't even have a good example now that I'm thinking on it. The idea of thinking yourself sick is very likely It is possible. By looking at Dr. Lipton's work, another gentleman by Dr. Hamer, Dr. Matt, all of their work, your thoughts can literally make you sick. That's more than what I can describe or go into in this show. Because it's learning that I've had past the master practitioner level with Dr. Matt. So there's way too much to fit into one little bitty nut in show me your nuts. There's just too much there. But know that your thoughts literally can change your biology. And Dr. Lipton is kind of known as the grandfather of a field called epigenetics. And epigenetics show that you are not a victim to your genes. So yes, our genetic makeup, our DNA, a sperm and an egg from mom and dad come together, build our genes, our own individual genetic makeup, that even though I have a sibling and we have the same original genetic donors, if you will, they're whatever, the two same genes from the same place that came together. Yes, we have traits and things that are very similar to each other, but we're not the same person. Even in twins, and I think this is kind of gets to the gist of it. Even in twins that do have the exact same genetic DNA makeup, and maybe you've got identical twins, epigenetics shows that there's more than just their genetic makeup that makes up who they become. They actually can even physically be different because of their thoughts literally changing their genetic makeup. Their experiences change how they view the world. How they view the world changes what they're thinking. It's not that simplified, but it is cyclical like that sometimes. The way I always give the description of all of us have a different view of the world is you could have twins that have had everything the same, and they're both looking at Niagara Falls and they both see something different. And that's just another example of what we're talking about here. So, I am not doing good on the back side of things here this morning. All right, so back to the comments. Jessica shares a birthday with Rosa Parks. That explains so much. And me sharing a birthday with the grandfather of epigenetics. Yes, that explains a lot too. So next time we celebrate Rosa Parks' birthday, we know what day it is. It's Jessica's birthday. It's her birthday. I'm gonna remember that. It's now a thing. So Dr. Lipton's book tells us you're not a victim to your genes. Consciousness literally creates reality at the cellular level. And probably, actually, I'm going to say it actually creates it at the frequency level, because the cells are made of multiple atoms. Atoms are made of energy and frequency make up everything and change everything. And that's literally what we're talking about when we talk about quantum life, quantum things. The mind-blowing or mind stretching, Ollie, mind stretching moment is when you realize that your cells are listening to your thoughts. Think about that one. The mind stretching moment is that when you realize your cells are listening to your thoughts. So what is it you're thinking about right now? Is it something good or is it something bad? If it's something bad and your cells are listening to it, what are they going to do because of that? And what are the impacts of that? And then if your cells somehow make you feel bad physically, then what happens to your thinking pattern when you're feeling bad? your thinking sometimes is even more bad. And you can make yourself feel worse and worse and worse. That one's a mind stretcher. But the truth is, you can also do that backwards. If you change, and it is as simple as it is as simple as changing your mindset and your thoughts. However, if there's a limiting belief, negative emotion, or stuff still back there because of it, and so I'm kind of taking us back to Dr. Matt's book, if you haven't done the release of the stuff, the affirmations, visualizations, New Year's resolutions, etc., are not going to work over long term or as effectively. If you do the release work, that mindset stuff can work forever in that area, whatever it is you released. Whatever it is, if you've released the stuff, if you've actually broken the bond between them and you've released it, then the affirmations and the mindset work does amazing things, but you have to disconnect the old stuff first. Otherwise, it's kind of like putting icing on dog poop. And who in the world wants that? Right? That's just, ugh, ugh. I mean, icing's great, not eating dog poop. Dr. Lipton's book is best for science-minded folks who need proof that this works, a proof that biology and spiritual belief and your belief are connected. That's good for scientific people who need that scientific proof for that. It being available as a YouTube lecture, start with the YouTube lecture. That being a free resource, it alone is life-changing and it's free. So if you're going to have something free and life-changing, hello, why not? Right? The next one I'm going to give you should be an affiliate link, but it may not be. It may just be a regular link. But the next book we're going to talk about is, this one's one of my favorites. I love this book, and I love it specifically in the audio version. 2 reasons. For Stacy, graduate school, the second round through graduate school, totally jacked my ability to read books on paper and not fall asleep. Not that the books I was reading were boring. I was just exhausted. And so shortly after that second round through graduate school, any reading I did, I started doing by audiobook because I found I could absorb it better. And then I also, and it was partly an eye issue, so I could use my Bluetooth audiobook or Bluetooth speaker mask thing and take in information through my ears instead of through my eyes. And so, but with some books, I found some authors and ways that the books are presented are amazing in audio format. She's not one that we're talking about today, but Brene Brown, if you ever do any of her books, always listen to them on audio, because I'll just say, because Texas mouth. she speaks my language in so many ways. She's one of my heroines. If I ever get 15 minutes, anybody listening to this can hook me up with 15, 30 minutes of Brene on a video call, please. That's one of my bucket lists. That would be so awesome. This book is called The Holographic Universe. It's by Michael Talbot. Unfortunately, we lost him. I don't remember what year, but if he were here to write a second book, I think other people have written books that basically could be considered sequels or additions to his book. But it's one of the best books I've ever input into my brain. And it's also one of the few books that I decided very soon into the book that I was going to read over and over again to get more and more out of it. And I don't watch movies more than once, except for a couple of them. I don't watch reruns on TV. I don't read books more than once because I want to take in everything. And to me, taking the same thing in twice, like a rerun or a movie, doesn't do anything for my brain. Taking in information like this more than once definitely does. So we've got Jessica saying, believe it or not, I'm not a BB fan, but every now and then I enjoy it. You're not a fan of my girl? Oh, we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk. I love me some Brene. Like, that's my heroine. And probably because more than the quotes. I actually like, I mean, she's got a potty mouth like me. That's one of the things I absolutely love about her. But I also love the fact that she is a clinical social worker who does qualitative research. So those things, she speaks my language. Like, I know where she's coming from. And so I still love you, Jessica. You guys are getting me all over the place here this morning. I'm gonna stay out of the comments. It's not good for me to be in the comments today because I'm squirreling right out of the gate. Holographic Universe by Dr. Talbot, not Dr. Talbot, by Michael Talbot is this is where quantum gets really interesting. This book goes deeper. It brings together all the things, all the fields, all the different areas. And you talk about citations of scientific stuff throughout. He brings in the science, he brings in the spirituality, he brings in the resources for it, tells you how they're connected, and it gets really interesting. Some of the key takeaways I have from reading it that I think are interesting are the fact that he presents how reality might be a hologram of consciousness. So think about everything around you actually being a hologram. Even though you can't put your hand through it, that doesn't mean it's not a holographic vision of what's in your conscious mind. And the fact that we create our own reality, and how all of us are constantly creating our own realities, even though we are in the same reality together. Which would also explain why we each see things differently. Because each of us has created a slightly different reality than the others. But the fact that we're all connected is how we're all creating that same reality that we're experiencing together. So it describes how reality may be that hologram of consciousness. It describes how everything is connected at the quantum level. So it goes into, Einstein and I'm trying to think of some of the other scientists' name. Bohr, I believe, is the name. I could, yeah, if words were coming to my brain, I'd actually be able to tell you the different scientists. These are Nobel Peace Prize winning physicists and scientists from all different fields. And he brings it to where everything is connected at the quantum level. He also describes how your mind has more power than you ever imagined it. This is why this thing here always will be the one that programs this one here. And by that, I mean computers and things like that. Okay. This one up here can program itself. That's how much power it has at the simplest level. But the fact is it has even more power than that. This one up here has so much power, you could stretch your mind from one end to the universe to the other end of multiverses, and it still has more power than that. Then this one here, even when it becomes quantum, is still going to take this one here to program it, which is why AI is not what's going to take over the world. It's humans using AI nefariously that would take over the world. And I'm going to keep repeating that until people listen to me. I'm just going to keep repeating it. This book, Holographic Universe, I'm going to warn you, it will make you question everything. Everything. It will flip your mind upside down, sideways, and spin it around about 6 times. I think I just sounded like RJ Redden. To me, that just did. This book is going to make you question everything, but it's going to make you question everything in the best way. I will warn you also, it is not an easy read. It wasn't an easy read for me, and I was going to be an engineer out of high school and had plenty of physics and calculus and math and science and whatever. I'm a math and science nerd before I became a therapist. And so I've known the science that this book talks about before this, but I had to read it in little bitty bites because it is so mind stretching and so much that it makes you question. I'd listen to about 15 minutes of it, and then I would stop and just let it filter in my brain. And then sometimes I would rewind it and reread that same 15 minutes over it and over again 3 or 4 times in a row. And I do not do that normally. And I wasn't doing it because I didn't understand it. I was doing it because it was stretching my brain so much. But those of you who may not have that scientific background, still read it. You're still going to get good stuff out of it. I'm just going to let you know it's going to take little bites. Take little bites, and it may take you a while to read this book. But it's worth reading or listening to. And read it if you're better at reading books on paper, read it that way. If you're better with audio, listen to it that way. That one, that one's like, what's your choice of reading? So, now this next one I am going to give you is going to be a book that this is the most recent book I am reading or have read. Turn that one off. This one I'm going to put in the comments. Try and make the comment cleaner here from what I copied out of my notes. This next book is going to set you up for next week's show. Because barring any complications, next week's show is going to be with the author of this book. So next week, I'm going to get my thing going up there. We are going to be talking to Dr. Etta Jackson. And we're going to be talking about her book, Understanding Your Choice. Those of you who are in the audience who've met Dr. Etta, she comes to my weekly coffee quite frequently, and I'm blessed to have met her and have that happen. She, I every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Central Time, in the Quantum Quaff, the word quantum and then QUAFF.com, 9 a.m. Central. Come play with us. It's actually in that site that I was talking about earlier. But her book, Understanding Your Choice, is where I'm going to wrap up. Her book brings everything back to practical application. So we've gone from practical application with Dr. Matt to stretching your mind, biology of belief with Dr. Lipton, to stretching your mind to the end of the universe with Michael Talbot, to understanding your choice to be here. And I love this book by Dr. Etta because the key takeaways I've had from it is every choice creates a quantum shift. You also it's understanding your choice to be in this life at this time doing whatever it is you're doing, because everything we do in this life, we chose to be here. We chose to do the things. I chose apparently to have a show called Show Me Your Nuts. I just didn't know it until about 6 months ago. Go figure. Maybe not even 6 months ago, but I didn't consciously remember it until then. And I'm glad I remembered it because of the people that it has me connected to, even if they don't like Brene Brown. I'll just say that. But understanding the power of conscious choice. When you understand the power that your choice and your consciousness of and how you make decisions and what choices you make, when you understand the power of that choice and what it does to change reality, it changes how you make choices, how you think about things, because you realize that when you're making choices, when you're making decisions, when you're putting words out into the universe, you literally are changing reality. And when you think about those changes that your cells are listening to your thoughts, you could be literally changing your own body. So, especially in this time where there's so many potential negative things going on in the world, if we absorb those and change our thoughts to negative thinking patterns, we actually are going to make ourselves potentially sick because of outside things that are going on, but because we've taken those in and run them around. So it's a really fine balance. We've got to really be careful of what we take in and what we do with it. Now, that doesn't mean put your head in a hole and don't be aware of what's going on. It means be careful of how you process it and what you do with it afterwards. Okay? And then through these processes, you actually can take the information in and not hold on to it or turn it into bad things, but you can take it in as an observer and keep a kind of like putting a plexiglass in front of you where it doesn't impact you as much. But you have to build that plexiglass shield in front of you for you to be able to observe what's going on outside of you while not having it affect you the same way. And that's a choice to build that shield. And it's a plexiglass or glass shield because it's not walling yourself off. It's not building a wall between yourself and the world. It's just keeping you safe from absorbing the things from the world. It's a metaphorical piece of plexiglass. So Dr. Etta's book gives you practical tools. Now, I'm also not going to say that her book's an easy read either. It's very intricate, but it brings together and kind of takes it up to the next level of how spirituality is connected to reality. And it brings together multiple forms of spirituality and multiple forms of spiritual thought together into one place and describes how those things are. It gives there's some practical tools for daily quantum living in there, and it ties everything that we've talked about today together beautifully. It's best for anybody who is ready to take quantum theory into their daily practice and think about why they made the choice to be here and why they, what they're doing. And like I said, barring any complications, hopefully we're gonna have Dr. Jackson on a future show. Period. Whether it's this next week or not. Meeting, if you want to meet her in person, possibly even before the show, come to coffee on Thursday morning. Let me find that link. I can give you a link that will bring you to, there's the Quantum Quaff. So at least you can write down the name. It's literally quantumquaff.com. So if you write down that name, that will get you to the that'll get you straight to coffee Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Central. And you can come hang out with all of us over there. Let me take that banner down so you can see my face and go back and let you know some final thoughts. And I'm using some notes today simply because there were things that I wanted to make sure that we covered. So the suggested order to read these books is going to be to start with the MER book by Dr. Matt for techniques. Then go watch Biology of Belief for the science. So for more of the science behind it, Dr. Matt presents science as well. Then dive into the holographic universe for mind expansion, mind stretching, and it could blow up your brain. Ollie, I know that that's an uncomfortable word, but it's a deep one. Holographic Universe, great book, Michael Talbot. And then ground yourself with Understanding Your Choice by Dr. Etta Jackson. So some alternative paths if you are the one who wants to go, you want to rebel on that. If you're a science lover, start with Lipton. If you're a philosophy seeker, start with holographic. If you're an action taker, jump into MER. And if you are a spiritual esoteric lover, start with Dr. Jackson's book. My reading tips are one book per month for the integration of the information. Dr. Matt's book, you can probably get through really, really quickly and without that much time. So you could take like the first 2 weeks and do that, and then give yourself a week off, and then dive into Dr. Lipton's lecture, and then give yourself some time. And if you choose to read his book after the lecture, then that way you're going to make up some time that way, or you're going to use the time up again. So I also have in my mind the idea to create a quantum book club. So I would like to hear from you as an audience. Are you interested, or would you be interested in a quantum book club? If you would be interested in that quantum book club, send me a message and let me know, one, if you're interested. Two, if you are, if you're interested in the book club, how much would you pay to be involved in an exclusive club like that would be reading these books and discussing them at a deeper level? And I don't mean lots of money. I'm saying it takes money to put something like that together. And how much would you be willing to invest in yourself to do that? Then I was trying to find my note to give you a link for that, to give me feedback, but I don't think I have that link handy. I am going to check a link here really quick, and then I will put it in the chat if it is indeed the accurate link. And yes, it is. I did good today. All right. I would love it if you're interested in the book club. How much would you invest in yourself for that book club? How much of a monthly fee, or if you wanted to join it for a year, what would you say for that? Go to speakpipe.com/Squirrel Wrangler and leave me an online voicemail to let me know what your thoughts are on quantum books, if you're interested in a quantum book club, and maybe also if you have suggestions for other quantum books, because I always be looking for other books. Would love to find even more. I'm also going to put that one in the chat. Um, one every yes, Jessica, it totally, we could some of these books we would definitely need, like, at least 6 months to read. Absolutely. Um, I think with Dr. Matt's book, again, it could be integrated, it could be looked at in a month. Um, Biology of Belief, couple months. Um, the Holographic Universe, it would be at least 6 months. We could probably do a full year book club on that one, and the same on Dr. Etta's book. I think both of those would take that long. So, yeah, speakpipe.com/squirrel wrangler. I really want to hear from you. If you're within the sound of my voice, if you can hear me, please leave me a voice message. Let me know what you thought of this show. Let me know what you thought of the fact that we just reviewed some books as a, as part of what we're talking about in the context of Show Me Your Nuts. And a way to end stigma with mental wellness is knowledge. And so this is like, let's gather some knowledge about the things, and then let's um see things differently so that we respect each other differently. And so that's where I'm going with that. Not to mention, I just geek out over it. I love it. What can I say? um I appreciate those who've hung out with me for the hour today. We went a little bit over, but in quantum time, maybe we didn't do enough. And I appreciate all of you. Come back and show me your nuts again next week. Especially come back and see if we were able to, if Dr. Etta's and my timelines connect as they're planned to do. But I always, you know, if she's not here, we will talk more about quantum stuff, and maybe we'll bring the audience. Maybe we'll bring the audience up on the stage anyway. But get ready, because it's gonna be a good one. This next week's gonna be a good one, I guarantee, no matter what. So I will see you next week.
Thank you for joining us on this nutty adventure. Remember, personal growth and wellness are journeys best taken together. Keep exploring, keep growing, and don't forget to show me your nuts next time.